Good morning, everyone. This is Spook, and we are live with Metroid. Sort of. This is the original game ported to the Super NES by Infidelity. You can find him on Twitter at infidelity_NES, and I still refuse to call it X. There are a couple patches that have been applied to this version that were supplied by the... Okay, apparently it's not recognizing my controller again. Okay. I should have checked this beforehand. My apologies to the viewers. Let's try that again. Okay, now I should be able to actually start the game. Okay, so I did a little test, just kind of making sure the whole thing worked. And is there... I can use a space, right? Okay. So yeah, graphically there are no enhancements. It is the original game, more or less as you remember it. There have been a couple enhancements, though, and we're going to get to those in a minute. The first one I'm going to talk about involves the Morph Ball, which... Okay, I had actually forgotten this, but the original game did not tell you what you had picked up. And I think that's kind of wild. Now, the Morph Ball has a new feature, and this is kind of similar to what happened in Metroid Prime. Because not only do you get the Morph Ball, you also get a Spring Ball in passing. That's activated by hitting the A button instead of the jump button. So that was an interesting surprise. Not really. I knew the patch was there and I put it in, but I think that's a good touch. And that's said mostly from the perspective of somebody who's terrible at bomb jumping. So it's one of those changes that I welcome quite a bit because, man, bomb jumping is a pain in the ass. But it's optional. It's an additional patch that's included with the package. I believe he has the whole thing up on archive.org. You can find the link on Infidelity's Twitter. Again, infidelity_NES. I strongly recommend his work. They do a bunch of NES to SNES ports, and I kind of love it because it gives people who want to mod the game some more opportunities. It's like, well, we can't put in more content because there's these limitations on the NES. So there's another enhancement here that I really want to show off. And that is, when you hit the X button, you get this. It's like, oh, hey, that's handy. So you can see your stuff, and you can actually turn items off like you can in Super Metroid. Plus... there we go. You can get a map of the area. Now, maybe that's a little cheap, but I'm pretty okay with it. Because short of sitting here with graph paper, I would not be able to navigate this. And part of it is, this is actually due to console limitations. They crammed a lot of game into this cartridge, and they managed to do that by having every room in the game they would define rooms, and then they would set up a layout of basically the meta tiles that would say, okay, this is what this room looks like. And they were able to add a lot of these vertical corridors, and some horizontal areas too, with a lot of repetition. Basically, they would design a room once and use it multiple times. And that kind of leads to a lot of, I don't know how tall this thing is, because I can't actually get any idea of the full extent of things. So, the map being added in this port helps a ton. Oh, you know what? This is the room for the long beam, and I can't actually grab it. I just remembered this. Oh, and this is even after playing this week. I think we're in trouble. In terms of me actually doing well. Yeah, the missiles are going to be way to the right over here. Well, let's go snag him. I mean, Super Metroid started with the long beam, and honestly, I think that was a really good choice. It's unfortunate that did not continue into this port, but I think they were going for authenticity when they made this, so I totally understand. I totally understand the decision. Pew, 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 pew. Come on. Can't wait till I get the wave beam, that's for sure. Unfortunately, that's way down in Norfair, and oh god. Oh, you pricklick. There we go. Oh, interesting. It seems that there's some auto-fire. I don't recall if that was in the original. It's been a long time since I tried to play that. Oops. And a little... oh. And if I remember correctly, this is one of the first games to have a spinning jump, which became very popular afterwards. I think the biggest game where I remember a lot of spin jumps was Ninja Gaiden, though, which I played before this. Even though this came out substantially before then. Oh, well, I mean, E-tanks are good. Don't get me wrong. E-tanks are just why Samus is canonically trans. Because her life gets so much better when she gets some E in her. Oh, I have to go down further. That's what happened. Hey, Envious Kitten. Hello. Give me just a sec here. How are you doing today? Whoops. Okay, so I still need to grab missiles. And I need to stop running into enemies like a klutz. Oh, that is a thing. Holy shit. Yeah, I saw it came out last night. I'm like, oh, buddy, I gotta sleep, but I know I'm not gonna now. It's funny because half of the video is about a guy I had never heard of before that video. So it's like, oh, hey, a queer creator. Well, if I'm hearing about him this far in, this is not going to be good. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad. And it only gets worse. I mean, spoilers, but... Okay, so... Yeah, down and then to the right, and I'll get the missiles. Boy, I am just burning right through this extra energy. You know, let's try to kill these little, Yeah, okay, that's still a lot of video to go. Like, the stuff with, Illuminati wasn't really a huge surprise. Like, I knew she was shitty. I didn't know she was shitty in that dimension, but I guess we just get to add that to the list. And there's our missiles. Now we gotta backtrack and get the long beam. Is there anything else down this way? Just the path to Norfair, which I am not dealing with that yet. Okay, up left, and then up again. Okay. Yeah, the map added to this version is was badly needed. Oops. I mean, because I've done this with graph paper, and I can tell you from the experience that I would rather not. So it's funny, I was watching a video yesterday, speaking of graph paper, about a role-playing game series that I think has kind of fallen to history at this point. But it was one of the earliest big RPGs that people got into, and that was Wizardry. And I learned quite a bit about it. Like, I was genuinely surprised. Like, I had played it, the first one on the Nintendo, and it was a bit of an oddity, which I think it was part of the appeal. You know, you're crawling through a dungeon in first person with plenty of random encounters and so forth. Pretty typical sort of things now. But it was a brutally difficult game. Like, I had a lot of characters die right in that first level. And one of the things that made it difficult is you could take the dead body to the temple, and they would attempt to resurrect it, but that had a high chance of failure. And if it failed, the body would be reduced to ashes. And you could make one more attempt to resurrect them, which would be even more costly, and have an even worse chance of working. And if that failed, that character was simply gone. So it's like, if somebody dies, just grab their loot, and don't even bother trying to resurrect them. So you wind up going through a lot of characters in that game. And the whole game kind of has it has a weird sense of humor to it. But apparently when it got translated into Japanese, which is where the game got a lot of, was very popular. Okay, I think I have to go all the way over to the right there to get to the bombs. So we're going to go back down. I so miss being able to fire down. But yeah, apparently the humor was lost because they didn't localize any of it. So it's just this super difficult, kind of grimdark game that wasn't really intended to be, but that seems to be how it became popular over in Japan, and that's just wild to me. It's like, it's good to know that translation errors aren't just something we get. I mean, even in the 2000s, you had that infamous Fire Emblem game, which got... When you start the game, it asks you what the difficulty mode you want to set it to is, and the localization team messed it up, and they made the normal mode, they called it easy, and then the harder mode they called advanced, and then there was still... Whoops! And then there was still an extreme difficulty mode. So if you tried to play it, you go, oh, well, I'll take the normal mode, even though it's actually the difficult mode. I'm like, wow, and this is happening... You know, this isn't something by a fly-by-night development team in the 80s. This is much more recent. I mean, it's still 20 years ago, but I'm old, I don't process time correctly. Yeah, I really need the wave beam. Okay, and yep, keep going right and up. So, I recently did Super Metroid on stream, and I got up to the fight with Meta Ridley, and I can't seem to get past it, so that kind of ended that run. But I was thinking about it, and it kind of brought back a thing I had thought about before. So, mathematically you could represent every room in a game as a node, and then the connections between other nodes as basically kind of lines between them, or connections. So this makes This makes a fairly simple planar graph in most cases. Super Metroid, it's probably not, or sorry, Metroid Prime, it probably won't be a simple planar graph, but the point remains is this is something you can easily put into a computer and start to, you know, you can add keys and objectives and so forth, and then start kind of brute forcing a solution for an optimal path. I'm not sure this would be useful if you're trying to speedrun something, since this wouldn't necessarily take glitches into account. But I think that could be really handy for coming up with a better path through than the one I took, which involved possibly more backtracking than necessary. Oh, God, these... Oh, why can't Metroid crawl? Okay, so this should be the bombs. Yes. And of course we'll have a little peek in here and see if... No, nothing. Didn't think so, but... Now, so if I go up and to the left, there's two more things I can pick up. Oh, never mind. No ice beam, no vertical ascent. Well, I see where we can get the ice beam. Oops, that was a disaster. Wow, I'm trying to grind up enemies for health, and I'm losing in the process. That's pretty great. My kingdom for a wave beam. Good lord. Oops. Let's make sure that I'm saved. Whoops. Jerk. Okay, is this the one? Yes. Although I should have high jump boots to get out of here, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna bypass this for the moment. I mean, you don't technically need the ice beam until Turian. Oh wait, no, you do need it. Because I literally just ran into a thing that needed it. Never mind. Let's go be foolish. You rat... I'm gonna have to actually farm missiles. Because I'm gonna need at least 5 to get in the door, and I do not have that. Okay, we need one more missile pickup. Come on, game. There we go. Really? Oh, you dropped missiles, you little rat bastard. Oh, jeez, my feet hurt. I guess I should probably soak them, like I say I'm supposed to do every day, but I never do it. And obligatory bomb check. Nothing. Okay. So this is going to be kind of a pain in the ass. There's, the thing to get out of the well I kind of put myself in is sort of high, so that may pose a problem. Well, at least I have 5 for the next, I'm glad I added the better farming patch, because that's having a huge effect. So yeah, there's a small part of the water you can stand on here. And then you just can't quite get up there. There we go. One way to do it. Alright, so we're going to go try to ascend that shaft on the right with the ice beam. And see what lies beyond. And, oh god! Whoops. That's frustrating. Oh. Probably a bad move, but you know what? Those little flying critters are a problem. Oh, of course it lands right over the lava. Okay, so let's check out this corridor here, or shaft. Shaft. Oh, and I do need to keep arbitrarily killing mobs because I don't have enough missiles for the next missile door that I encounter. Oh, still need to go up further. And there we go. There's the little croissants of doom. Oops. Apparently I can't aim. Oh, what? Oh, so do the red ones take extra? Oh. You little commies. Oh, and I still can't get up there. Okay, well. Alright, game. You foiled me. Let's try going to this the other way. I mean, if I can avoid going through the shaft. Just die, horrible monster. Thank you. Okay, almost up to half of my health. Yay! I'm past the halfway mark. Oh, wait. Oh, duh. I took the wrong door, and I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, those guys are assholes. Oh! Well, that's cool.